What the president and the administration is doing, which is the right thing to do, is they're saying, look, you can take your time all you want. We're going to the one country that you probably don't want to see be the next China, which is India. Okay? And here's what just happened. This is how long ago, Rob? Was it this morning?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, April 22nd, 8:03 a.m. it was posted.
Go for it. Watch this, folks.
As many of you are aware, both of our governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we are especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step. Thank you. And I believe this is a vital step toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision, because it sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations. As many of you are aware,
right there. Tom, how important is this?
Excuse me?
How important is this?
This is really important because I think what he's saying when he says the points of reference, I think what he's saying is basically LOI. Here's a letter of intent. It's not a contract, but it's a letter of intent. And inside the letter of intent it says, okay, these are the 5 things that we're going to work through. So basically, that's a big deal. To say that because, they get together, they stand in front of the flags and they say, boy, what a productive day. Nice to see you. Nice to see you as well. Do you like the gift? I love the gift. Thank you very much. Love the beef jerky. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for the curry. And they do that, and it's kind of just a handshake and back and forth. This seemed, and you heard the people applauding, very specific. I talked to the Prime Minister. We've got points of reference. So to me, it's like an LOI that says, hey, guys, we're around first base, and we know exactly what we're going to be talking about, and we know exactly where we're going to go. And when trade deals enter negotiation phases, usually what they do is they mutually pull the heat off each other. Like when 2 countries are at war, they say, we're going to have a ceasefire, and our guys and your guys are going to meet in Geneva, Switzerland, and we're going to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? They have a little ceasefire. That's how usually international deals happen. So likewise, they usually turn down the heat on it. I think the market is probably going to like this today because the poor stock market is bouncing like a yo-yo on sentiment.
Yeah, so I asked the question, how is this impacting? Rob, can you go to ChatGPT, type in, how are the tariffs impacting Chinese manufacturing? Just type that in.
It's funny you're saying that, but I saw a tweet by Mario Nafal, I'm looking for it right now, on how we're talking about us, right? You're nailing it. China is not doing well right now. Factories are closing. It's hitting the fan over there as well. Like people think it's all good, and
that's right.
Dan, that's a great point.
So it says Zhejiang province factory closure. Okay, over 50% of export-oriented factories in Zhejiang, a major manufacturing hub, are expected to halt production temporarily following the imposition of 145% U.S. tariffs. Many companies are extending their labor holidays indefinitely due to a sharp decline in U.S. orders. Okay, and then this continues, by the way. It's not getting any prettier. Let me see what this other region is. Give me 1 second. Let me see this one here. Yeah, many companies, the plastic manufacturing sector risks. Chinese plastic plants face potential shutdowns as tariffs have disrupted the imports. U.S. ethane, a critical raw material for plastic production. The increased costs and supply chain disruptions have made operations unsustainable. U.S. Companies shifting production. David's Bridal reduced China's based production from over 50% to 30%, shifting operations to countries like Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and India. So companies are moving away from China to places like Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and India. And then Stanley's Black & Decker decreased reliance on China manufacturing from 40% to 15% over the past 7 years, planning future reductions and reallocating productions to other parts of Asia and possibly Mexico. Now, keep in mind, we can talk like this and be like, oh, my God, China's struggling. They're going through a hard time. They're going to have to do a deal. They're going to have to. Nobody knows because in China, their media is saying U.S. is getting destroyed. Mm-hmm. The Chinese media is saying U.S. economy is in shambles. They don't know how they're going to handle it. They need China. The same thing Americans are saying is the same thing the Chinese are saying about how the U.S. economy is in shambles right now. Tom, thoughts?
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you, the India thing, we talk about sentiment. The market opened 1 minute ago. It's 9:31, right? So S&P 500 up 55, Dow up 400, NASDAQ up 182, just moving right here live. So it's an early bounce. The day is young. There's a lot of things that happen in the market, but the market is jumping a bit on sentiment, and you got to believe that hearing about India is part of this because it calms the market. The market just wants to know everything's going to be okay and things are going to come down a little bit. And I think that, you know, the volatility that's out there right now, we have the volatility of words.
What do you mean?
Well, the volatility
Was that the
of
end
words.
of the sentence?
Yeah, the volatility of words
off,
that
Tom,
go
when
back
you
and forth that causes the market to get a little concerned, and then, you know, people are making research, and Wall Street Journal today, as Adam pointed out, saying, hey, this could be the worst April since the Great Depression. Well, that's a fair headline based on historical facts, but those words make the market nervous. But trade deals, you know, are things that now go the other way and will calm the market. But we need more days like this morning.
Well, it's very hard to compete with China just because they cheat. You know, China is the world's warehouse that makes everything, and we've been shipping away manufacturing jobs for a few decades now. You know, how many times do you look at any good you buy and it says made in China, made in China, made in China? You even see videos of like people trying to call Trump out for things in Trump MAGA world that are made in China. I don't know what the validity of that, but they're like this factory of 1 billion plus people that just never sleeps. And it's very hard for smaller countries or even America to compete with these people when you have low costs, they're cutting out competitors, undercutting competition. The CCP is heavily subsidizing many of these industries, just like Trump did with some of the farmers in some industries here. They pay low wages. They have zero environmental regulation. They have low standards for the workplace. They don't give a shit if kids are working and chopping off fingers. They don't care. They don't care about their people. All they care about is keeping the CCP in power, which leads me to the final point. We covered this on the town hall, the live podcast we did the other day, where you have Xi right now, where China was alienated just a short 12 months ago. Now Xi's going on, what do they call it? Like this charm offensive, going around the world. Hello, good to see you. Yeah. Vinny said he wouldn't eat Chinese food for the next 6 to 12 months.
And I'm not.
Exactly. So the guy on whatever, there was like one of their foreign ministers or whatever it was talking
trash, calling us peasants.
I
would whoop his ass.
So China was alienated. Now they're sort of back in the fold. They're kind of playing with a little house money right now. The bottom line is it's going to be very hard to decouple from China. It's not like we're just going to cut off all our manufacturing. We have very cheap labor and cheap goods that came from China. I don't think these jobs are necessarily coming back to America. So Trump needs to navigate this relationship with caution.
But Americans, and this is the real question, are Americans willing to go through some pain to stop that shit? Because guess what, Adam, you nailed it. Kids labor, like slave labor camps for kids to have cheaper phones. If you're really about people and you're really about America and you care about the children, then we need to break off, and it's going to hurt. And I'm one of those Americans that's America first. And guess what? If I have to pay a little bit more and not to deal with these, you know what? Then
Listen,
so be
Vinny,
it.
what I say all the time is, I believe the children are the future.
I know.
You teach them well and let them lead the way.
By the way,
it's going to happen.
When you're saying that, okay, and we can say that, but there's a lot of people that don't have that luxury.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that are 4 weeks away from shutting down their businesses. There's a lot of people that are 2 weeks away, 6 weeks away. They're very scared. There's a lot of scared people in America today, okay? And you know who the scared people are? Here's a crazy stat for you to be thinking about. In 1940, 82% of all jobs in America were created by small business owners, okay? And that's 1940s. Mm-hmm. About 20 years ago, it was 55%. Now it's 45%. So the number of jobs being created by small business owners is getting less and less, and the more the jobs are being created by who?
The big government companies. Or the big companies?
No, big companies.
Okay, gotcha.
So small business companies with less than 100 employees. It used to be 82% that would employ the American people, right? But now we're relying on these behemoth companies.
Of course.
You need the small business owners to stick around. You need the small business owners to have a fighting chance. You need the small business owners that risk their savings, their 401k, they take some crazy risk to get a business going just because they have a small dream, or maybe some of them have a big dream. So we have to understand that it is very valid, the pain that they're going through. And if you're a business owner out there, I feel your pain that you're going through. When you're in it, it absolutely sucks. There's nothing like it when you're going through it. It's so scary. Anxiety at night, fighting with your wife and kids, fighting with your husband, trying to take your kids out private school, can't pay $1,500, you're back 3 months because you're trying to put the money in the business. We're going through it. However, I'm still optimistic that they're going to accelerate this process and get the negotiation going. I'm still optimistic. And I think if we are able to get India to scare the crap out of China a little bit, that can go away from you, this is good, okay? They need a little bit of good news. I had no idea what was going to happen with the Yetis. I had no idea. When our team said, Pat, they're not going to last, like this, all of it was gone. Next thing you know, we were swamped by messages of, Pat, can we get additional Yetis to do collaboration with Valuetainment and Future Looks Bright? The next one is here. Now, keep in mind, these will go very fast. Rob, if you want to play this clip, we got different ones. These are based on what many of you guys asked. This is the Future Looks Bright Yeti, whether it's a pink one, whether it's the red one, whether it's the Tiffany blue or the white. These seems to be, this one seems to be, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. Yeah, or even a smaller one that you got. And on top of this, Rob, if you can also go to the website, there are, I think it's 10 coolers that we got. A couple people asked for
only
coolers.
10?
I just got 10 of them. We're like, let's just see if there's a market for it.
I guarantee you that they'll be gone before we're
they
done
asked,
with the episode.
I said, let's get 10
Those
and
are
let's see how it does.
sick.
Look at that. Look how sick that is with Future Looks Bright right on top of it.
So badass.
So VTmerch.com, go place your order. Be the first to get it because these things will go very quickly. Again, it is limited supply and they're absolutely sick. When you go to work and you have this Valuetainment logo and the Future Looks Bright, it looks insane. Okay, again, go to VTmerch.com, place your order with the Yeti collaboration.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.